Wow, welcome to this week's video. It is incredibly windy, and for some strange reason we decided to come to the coast. I hope you can hear me because the wind is absolutely ferocious. It's just blown my bag over, and we've got high tide for sunset. So at the moment we're just finding our feet and trying to stand up straight, to be fair. I've taken a couple of shots using the 70 to 200 just out towards the rocks where the waves are coming over them, but I was struggling really because the sky just behind these isn't doing very much at the moment. The sun's setting. Woohoo! The sun is setting in front of us, so we're hoping that we might get a little bit of light and some nice colour in the clouds at sunset, which I think is about an hour away. The spray coming from these waves is immense. I've no idea if we're going to get anything from this shoot, but it's an extreme of the weather and thought it'd be interesting to share this with you whilst we attempt to take some photographs.
So as you can see, we were up against some pretty extreme conditions, so apologies for the wind noise and a little bit of shaky footage that you may see during this video. It was just one of those situations where the vlogging camera probably would have ended up in the sea.
Okay, so I framed up the first shot. Now, for a first shot, it's not too bad. What I'm using is this triangle shape of these rocks in the foreground that are pointing up to that absolutely beautiful view with the triangle rock on the background. Now, you might remember this place. It's a location we came to when we first moved up to Scotland, and we did some real long exposures on the coast. Now, on that video, it was low tide for sunset. Today is high tide with ferocious winds. So very different. I think the winds are going to hamper obviously the photography. I'm having to really keep hold of the tripod here just so that it doesn't blow over. But on this shot, as I say, we've got this triangle shaped rock here, again with beautiful patterns and almost browns and yellow colours in them, and that mental scene with the sea out there is just crazy. The foam and spray blowing everywhere. Now, I'd like to be further out, but I'm just not going to risk it. I'll be very surprised, to be fair, if any of these shots turn out. What I'm hoping here is that at either side of this rock in the foreground there's a channel of water, and as the tide comes in, I'm hoping that we might get some nice waves coming through, although we might not hang around that long. It depends how it goes and what we can get and what the sky does. There's not a lot of cloud. It'd be nice if we could get a little bit of a pink hue maybe on the horizon at sunset, but we'll see. Okay, so I've tried to do a landscape image as well from this same spot, and I do quite like it. Now, the problem that I found last time here was that this cliff edge juts in and can unbalance the shot. But across this side here, we've also got another cliff. So I've included them both in the image. So we've got this one here and then this one over the other side here. We've got this rock, this sort of triangle shape that's with the two channels on either side leading up then to this little rock here out to sea. Now, I think on a wide shot we're probably not catching the power in those waves too much, and I think we might be getting a bit of that nice foamy water coming through now from this channel. So I'm just going to see what we get. I think it needs that. It needs something more on either side, and although we've got that water, it just needs some of that lovely, here we go, we're going to get that coming through now. That's much better. It just lightens that side of the image and gives it a little bit more detail and texture on that side. It's just waiting really and having the patience, I suppose, but I'm happy now that we've got a little bit of something going on that side. We're not going to get anything on the right because we haven't got that channel that's pushing that water through. We've got some more coming down there now. That's it. Happy with that. It just gives, like I say, that real nice textured effect in the water. Okay, so we've come completely away from that side now and just headed a bit further round this little bay. And what's caught my eye at the moment is these couple of rocks out to sea, again with the waves crashing around them, and these little rocks here in the foreground as a little bit of foreground interest. We've got a cliff edge again just creeping in on the left hand side, and I've almost placed this larger rock in the centre of the frame with these rocks across the shore here, just on the sort of bottom third of the image. And again, all I'm doing is waiting for that wave to come through. I'm on a third of a second on the shutter, f10, and I've had to put my ISO up to 320. So I'm just going to wait for the waves to roll in over these little waves, see if we can get a couple of different compositions here. Here we go. Nice. So the wind seems to have eased ever so slightly, and I've taken the brave step of putting my tripod up a little bit higher. This scene here is absolutely stunning. It's just lacking some light, but the waves are coming in quite nice. We've got some separation with these rocks here, and we've got some more interesting rocks in this foreground than we had just a little bit further up. Now, just here, we've got a cluster of, it's like almost like a flatbed of rocks that when the tide comes in, I've just been watching it and it's creating some really nice patterns and textures as the waves go over them. And I'm sort of at the moment tempted to get down a bit lower and try and compose a shot using that flatbed of rocks leading up to these two quite dominant rocks out to sea. Every now and then though, we get a huge wave that comes in all the way up, and I'm just worried if I go down there, it'll be my luck to get absolutely soaking wet through. The images I think are just going to be alright from tonight's video, but you know, this is the day that we had to come out. This is the day that we've got horrendous winds and this is the day that it was high tide. So really the high tide with the winds should create some really nice results, and I won't know until I get back whether the wind has actually ruined some of the shots with a little bit of vibration in them, but we'll see when we get back. But yeah, I'm going to experiment a little bit more using, like I say, these little bits of rocks in this foreground. We are losing the light, so maybe just one or two more images and then we'll head back. Okay, so we've given it up now. The light has dipped. The exposure times are either going to be really long or using a high ISO. But really, really impressed with this location. There's 2 or 3 spots that you can visit and probably a lot more that you can get around. There's little caves and all sorts. So yeah, we're going to head back to the car now, get back up the hill and review the images at home.
If you've made it this far, well done. I'm surprised that we stuck it out as well, to be honest with you. But if you've enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and maybe subscribing.
We've made it back up to the top. We're going to head back to the car. Hope the video has been alright. You can see that it is still quite windy when you get back to the top. All of the footage has been taken on the phone because it was probably too risky to get the video tripod out. I was literally clinging onto my tripod for dear life. But a good experience with the wind, just to see sort of what the conditions are like at the coast, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So you've probably seen the images before I have, or we have, so hopefully you've enjoyed them. Take care. We'll see you next week. Adios!